storylines that we've been following around the league. It's time for some full court press, and we're going to start with Karl Anthony Towns because he does have 2 years left on his current contract with New York. He is eligible to extend for 4 years, $272 million. Vince, what are you hearing on if he may sign that?
Well, go back to during the season when Karl Anthony Towns wanted an extension from the Knicks. The Knicks did not offer him one. He was disappointed, but he says he wants to be a Knick for life. He said, these are the things that handle themselves in the offseason as long as I handle myself on the floor. The Knicks won the championship. Karl Anthony Towns was the hub. He's expecting some resolution to that soon.
Well, the Detroit Pistons are hoping to play spoiler to the New York Knicks. And in Detroit, Jalen Duren remains a restricted free agent. Mark, you talked with his now former teammate Isaiah Stewart yesterday on what Duren's thinking. What'd you learn?
Isaiah really feels like he proved that he deserved a contract. He made an all-star, and I think shouldn't look so much as the postseason. You got to look at the whole body of work. And Isaiah says that Jalen believes he proved no matter what happened in the playoffs that he's just deserving of this money.
Yeah, and Shams has just reported that they're far apart on what that money should look like, not an extension at all. Sticking in the East, where there's been a lot of news, to Cleveland. That's where James Harden remains unsigned after opting out of his contract with the Cavaliers. So, Ramona, what's the latest? When are we going to see the former MVP put some pen to paper?
Well, I think that could happen relatively soon. The question is going to be, is it a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal? What the structure looks like is going to determine what the money looks like. But the Cavs are still poking around with Peyton Watson, and I think that's why James has given them a lot of room to negotiate.
The Cavaliers, they know that they need to continue to work to improve if they want to get past where they did last year. Still to come on NBA Today, the WNBA trade deadline looming this Sunday. So what are some moves that teams are vying for to make a push in the playoffs? Plus, after losing the LeBron sweepstakes, could Steph Curry's championship window, I mean, it may be a rear-view one at this point. Anthony Slater details why Golden State believes standing pat still correct. And A'ja Wilson looks poised to win her 5th MVP award. Our exclusive conversation on what keeps her motivated. That's minutes away. To the game of the night in the WNBA, Angel Reese and the Dream taking on Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. This one went down to the wire. We're going to pick it up with the most pivotal play. Just over 20 seconds left to play. The Dream down 4 here. Watch Alysha Gray. Goes up for the 3. They called this a foul on Arike Ogunbowale. Not only was it called a foul, the Dream, they challenged the call, wanting a flagrant foul. The refs were looking for foot-to-foot contact. This is upgraded to a flagrant 1 off of the reckless closeout. That is what the call was. Ogunbowale can't believe it. And honestly, my eye test can't either. So Gray's 3 clutch free throws cut the deficit to 1. And then in the closing seconds, they get the ball. So Ryan Howard inbounds it to Alysha Gray. Gray, little fader over Paige Beckers. So it's a 5-point swing here. The All-Star hit 5 for 25 points in those final seconds. So no timeout on the final possession. The Wings down 1. Look at Paige Beckers calling for the ball, wants it on the action. Jess Shepard scanning, looking. Paige can't get her hands on it in this final possession.
Oh, that can't happen.
Yeah, Shepard's tip-in comes up short. So the Dream, unbelievably, snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Understandably, the Dallas Wings completely upset about how this one ended, but Atlanta escapes with an 82-81 victory. And an awesome night of action. It calls for an awesome analyst to break it all down. Megan McEwen is here. Megan, you're making your NBA Today debut, and we're so glad to have you here.
Thanks. Looking forward to chatting with you guys.
Let's dive straight in, because what we just saw, I mean, the Atlanta Dream, they have now won 4 straight. I need your reaction to those final seconds. Did it blow your mind as much as it blew mine? And then what have they figured out lately, the Dream?
That the final couple of seconds of that game were unbelievable, especially because you commit the cardinal sin of fouling right at the end of a game when you already have a lead, and then a 3-point swing turns into a 4-point swing, and just like that, Atlanta Dream comes out on top. But the Dream have been able to find consistency over the course of the last 4 games. To start the season, Atlanta had one of the most talented rosters on paper when they added Angel Reese, but they underperformed at the beginning of the year. But now, Bree Jones has returned from injury, and she brings a level of physicality and rebounding to the floor that Atlanta definitely needed in addition to Reese. That come from behind win last night was a perfect example of why Jones is so valuable. 3 of her 7 rebounds happened in the fourth quarter, and they prevented extra possessions for Dallas, or they created extra possessions for Atlanta. For the Dream to make a deep run in the playoffs, they need consistency when it comes to physicality and rebounding. Bree Jones brings all of that.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm having a hard time moving past what I saw, at least on that final play, but the Dream have certainly started to look fully in the playoff form here. And I'm trying to set aside what we saw from Dallas last night because their season has been exceptional. Their turnaround has been awesome. They've exceeded all expectations thus far. What do you think's been maybe the most under-discussed part of their success?
It's hard to believe that it's under-discussed with Dallas, but Arike Ogunbowale is really starting to find a flow within Jose Fernandez's system. Keep in mind, when Arike came to Dallas, she had to do literally everything for the course of her career in terms of scoring the ball. But Dallas plays with great spacing now. They got multiple playmakers in Paige Beckers and Jess Shepard. And now Arike is able to play off the ball. She's got more room to create. She's not forcing shots. She's making great reads, and she's getting to the foul line more. Arike's had at least 17 points in her last 6 games. For Dallas to be a legit contender, they need that scoring consistency and smart playmaking by Arike.
All right, so we're also, Megan, this is the best part of the year because not only are we marching towards the postseason, we're just a few days away, right, from the WNBA trade deadline. That is already coming up on Sunday afternoon. Some key players could be on the move here. Ramona Shelburne has her ear to the ground on all these potential transactions, and I want to bring her back in here. Ramona, what are you hearing in terms of 5-time All-Star Kelsey Plum? Because we know Shanae said on Countdown the other night that her phone has been starting to buzz with that name.
Look, the Sparks have been getting calls on Kelsey Plum for weeks, but it's really just been this week that they've been engaging in those calls. And I think something has shifted. They've been losing. Obviously, they're not really going anywhere this season. And Plum is a player that everybody wants. And the question is, who is going to trade for her without a commitment for her beyond this season?
Yeah.
If the Sparks were willing to move her, right now what I'm hearing is they're asking for the world. It doesn't look like she'll move unless anybody's willing to meet that price. But interesting teams. Dallas, you just talked about them. How do you think she would fit there? New York, kind of underachieving this year. Does she fit there? Everyone's been calling on her. I don't know that anyone is willing to meet the Sparks asking price right now.
I had been wondering if maybe the Valkyries would be a team, but their identity is so entrenched in being a strength in numbers team if you're going to give up that much. But Megan, let's say that Kelsey Plum will be on the move, just for discussion's sake. Where might she fit? What does she bring?
If I'm Golden State, I am doing everything I can to get Kelsey Plum to hop in the car, drive up Interstate 5 to the Bay, because she brings that scoring consistently in that pop that they really need. And for Kelsey Plum, it starts with her balance. On the catch, she consistently assesses the defense. Her head's always up, and she has a counter move to everything thrown her way by the defense. Even off the spin, her shoulders stay square to the rim so she can make shots. That body control makes Plum so hard to guard because she doesn't get rushed. She draws multiple defenders, and she changes the release point of her shot so it doesn't get blocked. She's a chameleon to the defense. She adapts to whatever they show. And then when Plum gets to the rim, the defense has to give her a step. It gives her room for the 3. If you try and switch on ball screen action with Plum, you cannot give her that much room because she is going to make you pay. Plum can play within the flow of an offense, but according to Genius IQ, Plum self-creates nearly 75% of her own shots. That's 30